In this video, I'll be making a cat keychain out of the fur of this hat. Originally, I was going to make a little fish or shark out of the blue part of the hat, but I ended up cutting the blue part in a weird way that did not look like a fish. So, because I couldn't salvage it, I made it into a cat instead with the black part of the hat. This was the original concept of what I was supposed to do, but my knowledge of sewing is very limited, so I decided to not make it. And you can see in the next slide that it looks vaguely fish-shaped, but it's not. It's not gonna be a fish. I don't trust myself to make it a fish. Also, all my footage of me making it decided to not be able for me to use it in this video because I set up the camera in a weird way and my phone was on 1%, so it was just constantly overheating and the entire footage was just doomed from the start. So I will not be using it. I'll be very badly explaining it through pictures. For this video, you will need cotton or some type of fluff, buttons, fabric, and sewing material. I suggest you keep the scraps for the keychain part, or you could use an old paper clip like I did. First, you should cut out the shape of whatever animal you're trying to make. I'm making a cat. Then you should use your sewing material to sew everywhere but the top. If I had been doing this again, I would sew it and then turn it inside out, but I didn't do that. So the seam would be inside and it would look more clean if I did that, but I did not. Make sure you leave a hole open at the top so you can put in the fluff and the keychain part that you have to attach later. And I see now that I should have added the eyes from the beginning and not at the end because some strings show in the back when I do it now this way. But that's really preference. I don't really care that it's in the back of my blush, but if you do, then I suggest sewing it onto the front part first before you sew both the back and the front together. In this clip, you can see that it's fully sewn up, badly, but it's sewn up. And the clip part is actually from a paper clip that broke a long time ago, and I didn't have anything else to sew onto it, so this is the best option for me. But you could always use pieces of your scrap like I'm about to do in the second part of this video, where I actually got really tired of editing all of this together and badly explaining it. So I'm currently, as I'm speaking, doing my sister's keychain right now. And I'm going to use scraps of the fabric that I used for that. As you can see, mine didn't turn out that bad as I thought it was going to turn out. So the blue buttons for eyes I think was a okay touch, and it doesn't look that ugly. Keyword that. So I'll be making one for my sister because she saw me making this and she wanted one because of course she did. And luckily I was able to use that footage of me making it, which I filmed like 2 minutes ago. So enjoy the sped up version of me making my sister's cute cat thing. a little scary. I gave it to my sister and she handed it back to me saying to please fix it because it was that scary. So I added a couple details with some marker, which I didn't add to mine because mine was fluffy and it's black, so it didn't really matter. But hers, you could notice the mistakes a little bit better, which humbled me because I thought I did really, really good on mine. But I think it turned out okay, but you'll see in the next clip. I consider this craft a success, even though it didn't turn out as good as I thought it did, and I did have to go back and fix up the sewing later. It's definitely okay for the amount of skills I have, because the only other thing I've sewn is patches onto my backpack. So I think it turned out okay for my first time sewing something like this. I'll be making another craft in this video, which is a t-shirt, but of course I'll not be making an actual t-shirt. That would be insane. I am just putting the design of a band onto my t-shirt that I already have, but I don't wear the t-shirt a lot because it doesn't have a band design on it. So here's a clip of me doing that and explaining exactly what I'm doing. For the t-shirt, I was considering two designs, one by the front bottoms and one from Descendants, which is the one on the shirt right now. I decided not to go with the front bottoms one because it had a knife on it and I didn't know how well that would go over with school rules, so I decided on Descendants. The way I made this t-shirt is basically the same way I made the band patches I made in a previous video. I used the same fabric paint, I used the same technique, which is stencil, and nothing really changed other than it being a bigger fabric and that I don't need to cut it, which actually was much easier than to make the patches. Other than that, the design was much bigger, so I had to use two pieces of paper and then separately put them on instead of putting it on one piece of paper, or else it would be too small on the t-shirt. For this craft, you'll need a t-shirt you are okay painting on, fabric paint and a palette for it, a stencil, and newspaper so you don't paint everywhere. Chicken jockey! While I am painting the design, I want to talk briefly about fast fashion again. I've already listed a couple ways fast fashion is destructive and an unethical practice, but another reason that has come to my attention is that consumers should think about before purchasing clothes from these brands is the microplastics inside these clothes. Okay. According to earth.org, about 70% of all fast fashion clothes are made of polyester, acrylic, and nylon, which are cheap to make but are not biodegradable and are extremely harmful to the environment. When these clothes are worn, manufactured, and machine washed, they shed microplastics. These microplastics pollute the wastewater of washing machines and everything these types of clothes come in contact with, and harm the environment and the animals within it. The National Ocean Service has said that microplastics attract and carry pollutants into the water, as well as release chemicals into the water around them that they were added to the original plastic products they came with to be colorful and flexible, and goes on to explain the impact these microplastics make on marine life that comes in contact with it. When marine life ingests these microplastics, it can delay their development, cause problems with reproduction, and make it difficult for them to fight off disease. While some might think that this pollution doesn't directly affect us, that statement would be completely wrong. We consume animals that are constantly consuming microplastics, and not just fish, but farm animals as well. A report by Stanford University explains that humans ingest about 1 credit card's worth of plastics a week, and studies have been found that microplastics could cause cancer, heart attacks, and reproductive problems. Since the discovery of microplastics in food, water, and people is so new, scientists haven't even scratched the surface on how harmful microplastics can be on a person. The effects could be even worse than these studies suggest, since little research has been done on the topic. And microplastics can be found in the air, your clothes, your food, your water, everywhere. And according to the International Union of Conservation of Nature, about 35 of it comes from synthetic textiles or clothes sold primarily by these fast fashion brands. One full sweep! While buying from these clothes is unethical, if you already own clothes that contain these materials, greenearth.org explains some ways you can reduce your microplastic intake. One could wash their clothes less and do full loads instead of doing daily washes. One could also buy filters for the washing machines or buy laundry balls that were specifically made to catch microplastics by brands such as Guppy Friend, Coraball, and Woven. They also suggest that people filter their drinking water. This can significantly reduce the amount of microplastics one consumes on a daily basis. But most important of all is to not throw away these clothes. While they shed microplastics, one could responsibly take care of these clothes so it doesn't shed as much as it would at a landfill. Even with all these precautions one could take, not buying from these brands is the main way to stop the large amounts of microplastics contaminating our environment.
To die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. And if a 10-ton truck kills the both of us, to die by your side, well, the pleasure, the privilege is mine. Take me out tonight. Take me.
This t-shirt design went way more better than I thought it would. I thought it would have bled through the stencil, but it did not. So I consider this project a win. Thank you so much for listening, and please come back for more videos later. I'll be making 2 more next week, I hope. And thank you.